So, hello everyone. I don't do face cam normally, but I got back from MagicCon today actually, weirdly enough. I flew in where I we flew into an airport and I drove for 2 hours. So, that was pretty cool. I guess I rode in a car. But I wanted to talk about some cool stuff I got cuz I don't really have time to film like any matches. But I play Commander pretty frequently. I got to meet some cool people like the 10 bands because we work with Ultimate Guard. So there was a lot of bands there and we met them. I got to hang out with them and we did a dinner, which is always really nice. But I picked up some singles along the way and I want to talk about my Riftbound ones as well because I've been incredibly busy the last basically 3 weeks. We ran our own convention where we basically played modern. It was the Young Dingo or the Doghouse kind of tournament, along with some other stuff that was happening on the weekend. And then I went to Riftbound and I vended cards. And we drove there for about 9 hours down and then 9 hours back. And then we went to MagicCon Vegas immediately after, and basically it was like leave Wednesday, come back Monday, and then for MagicCon it was leave Wednesday, come back Monday. And now I got a haul of stuff that I kind of want to talk about and just kind of show people what I end up picking up, and I would love to hear from anybody that went, or if not, or what you've gotten at other cons, because I just think it's fun. I want to a little bit more community than just like, I play arena and that's it, right? So with that, I do have a cool card to show. If you haven't seen it, we're a premium store. So I have an Ocelot Pride. How am I going to turn this? But you can see it. Maybe if it blurs, it might not focus because I kind of turned that off so it doesn't freak out. But down here, I have a winner, which is Apex Gaming. I won the standard event there. So, playing arena hasn't gone completely to waste. But my CEDH deck, I have one. I built Winota because I hate having fun, apparently. So, with Winota, I picked up a Gemstone Cavern this weekend at the con, which is really cool. Really happy about that. And then I picked up, it's really funny, these are so reflective. You can see my Fallout New Vegas background. Like, it's in the Gemstone Cavern. It's kind of funny. But yeah, so I got a Gemstone Cavern for it. I didn't have one quite yet. And then I picked up a Chrome Mox. I got one of these, which is really nice. I'll actually hold it so it doesn't look that bad. And then I also picked up a Hexing Squelcher. I don't remember the booth I got this one from. The Chrome Mox I ended up getting from someone selling, weirdly, I think at the Riftbound event. They can sell to you, but we can't like sell Magic cards at Riftbound. But if they're kind of doing Riftbound cards and there's a couple Magic singles, we're allowed to buy them, but you're just not allowed to sell them, which I totally agree with. I think if you're at a Riftbound event, you should be doing Riftbound cards. So those are for Winota that I have built, which is pretty cool. I don't know where I put her. I have 4 decks on my table now, so I have Winota in my little box, my little Ultimate Guard box. This is the Shogun series boulders, so it has like a little flower on top, and it's pretty cool. I like them a lot. It comes with a big wood box that I have at the store, but I don't actually have it here. So those can slide into there. I also got the voice, or the one that makes the energy. I don't remember exactly what it is, but I didn't feel like that was necessarily to bring up. I had the Ocelot Pride. It's kind of the cool one. But I got to acquire some other cards, and one of them being the Dualcaster Mage. These next cards are for Azula. He's like a 3-ish, a 4-ish. I don't really like to determine that they're in one pile, because as soon as I'm like, it's a 3, I get a Soul Ring start, and then it feels like a 4, and you win really early, because, that card's balanced. And so I got a Dualcaster Mage, and I got an Argumancer, because they're pretty sweet, both the special guests from Secrets of Strixhaven. And then, one of the cooler cards I got was a Burgi signed. I ended up buying a Burgi, and one of the co-workers, Damien, he messaged me. He's like, hey, Eric's line has nobody in it. He just got here because we obviously were exhibitors, so we're kind of in there getting set up. And we're never really there with the intention to get in the lines early. Like me personally, I don't care to do that too much. I do like to do it, especially at this con. We were just so busy that I honestly I didn't even get to do the con outside of the couple hours like early, which most people aren't doing anything. Um, because I was hoping to have met like Leonard Williams. That would have been really sweet, and then meet a couple of other people, maybe watch one of the shows, but didn't get to really do that. And I took 4 commander decks, and I didn't get to play a single game, which is tough. But you know, that's the cost of doing business at one of those. And when you're trying to do, in my opinion, I hope we do a good job. Anybody that comes to the Ultimate Guard booth. But anytime we try to work that out. We try to do a very good job. So it comes with like a lot of stress, you know. But with that, so I got signed Bergie, which is really cool. And then I picked up this, which is, you know, we all love Recall. I haven't got to play this one yet. I've actually had this card in Azula for a little while, but I didn't get to play. So I'm excited to try that out. I have Displacer Kitten in Azula, so you know, if you don't quite know how that works, this card has when this creature attacks, you may exile 8 cards or whatever to prepare it, but it also just enters prepared. So with Displacer Kitten, if you cast the Ancestral Recall side for 1 blue mana, you can flicker this, or you can blink it, or however you want to exile this card, have it re-enter, and then it would enter prepared again, so then you can draw 3 more. And so if you go into your opponent's end step for whatever reason, and they lead, like, against a matchup that they can really do much with, or say we have a baby fairy, obviously Azula is not going to do that. But if you have like that type of effect where your opponent can't cast stuff, or you're just holding like a counter spell or something like that, and you feel safe enough to go for it, you can actually like draw 3 cards and then draw 3 more. Honestly, if you're playing like 6 cards and holding up your counter spell is probably more important. Then a card I picked up. I didn't really want to put any of these in. I ended up getting a Vamp Tutor or a Vampiric Tutor. I've been staying away from playing these type of tutors in that deck. I wanted it to be a bit weaker. But the reason I ended up picking this up was because if you've ever built a more like less efficient deck, sometimes your deck gets to the point that I don't even know how to explain this. It's really weird. So Azula attacks, right? And I'm just trying to find, like, let's say Fated Firepower. It's like my main win condition in Azula. So what I would do is with Azula attacking, she copies any spell that you cast. I can just actually pull up the commander, I guess. And I'm not doing much editing. I'm just kind of here talking. So hopefully if you like this content, you can let me know. If not, that's fine. But I just think it's fun, you know. But I have Fire Lord Azula. So she has firebending whenever you cast a spell while, you know, she's attacking. Copy it. So Fated Firepower is basically a way to kind of maximize my damage output with a lot of things. So I have things that make like the Black Mage from Final Fantasy with Vivi's persistence and stuff like that. So I'm able to make a lot of mages, and if I cast Fated Firepower, let's say for 5, Azula will copy that, so then I'll get 2. So any damage I do is plus 10, which is really nice. But sometimes it's just like I attack and I have like 30 mana, or I have like a ritual, which is another card I'm going to show you in a second. But I'm just like, I can't find the Fated Firepower, and there's been a couple of times it's literally been in my bottom like 10, and I can get there, but then it kind of takes everybody else's time. So I'm really only using it to be like, oh, you know, let me just go grab it and not really do anything else with it. It's just my second copy because Azula will copy this twice. So playing these is a bit kind of risky in terms of your power level, especially with a card as strong as Azula, because, you know, I cast this, I literally 1 mana go grab 2 cards out of my deck. Like, yeah, Gifts Ungiven that you can't stop me from doing is pretty sick, you know. So there's that, and then I got a Secrets art. This is, I think it's Pyretic Ritual, either or. It's one of the rituals that doesn't have a. I don't think you can meld. Can you meld this one? I don't remember. It's not meld. It's the mechanic to like cast it. Arcane Splice. Can you splice this one? or splice onto this one. I actually don't remember, but I don't have any cards that really do that, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I got the really cool silver foil ritual, which I actually end up having Damien, the same guy I talked about before. I handed him cash for it, and then he went and grabbed it for me because I was still setting up and doing some um, camera work with the bands. We did like time lapses and stuff, and then filmed the hall and everything, which was pretty cool. I didn't get to film as much as I would like, but that's kind of for another time. Then at a dinner, we got invited to go to a dinner with a couple people. Seth Manfield was there, Arnie was there, Jim Davis was there. In terms of Magic players, Martin was there. Um, that's the wrong deck box. Where did my right in front of me? Right where I put it. It was right in front of me the whole time. So yeah. So we had a dinner with those guys, and then Ultimate Guard gave us some free collector packs because we had a wizard rep there. I am so sorry, I do not remember their name. I was getting introduced to a lot of the band members at the time, so I kind of meshed all the names together, and now I knew a lot of their names until I got more names, and now I know none of their names, and that is the tough cycle of going to a con and meeting a lot of people for the first time. But I opened crazy. It was pretty sweet. I got a doubling season out of TMNT, which is really cool. You know, one of these. I actually like this art a lot. It's a little bit weird because it is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and there's 4 of them, but like for doubling season, you'd think there may be 8, right? Like in the art, there's 4 turtles, unless I'm missing them. I haven't actually looked at the art all too much. You'd think there'd be like 8 to represent like double of them, but maybe that's a reference to something in TMNT I'm just not sure about. And then I opened a Leonardo cutting edge. This was out of 2 packs, by the way. I opened this, this kind of Surge e-foil thing. It was really cool. I think it was like $70 when my buddy checked. I could be wrong about that as well, but I work at a shop and I don't know the card prices, so, you know, blame me. And then I opened Raphael the Muscle, which is super sick. These are Surge foil. It's like a pixel art. This one is kind of the same price as the other one. I think one might be like 130 and the other one's 70. So USD, by the way, for anybody who may be watching elsewhere. That's pretty sweet. And then like here's a card that I haven't put in Azula because I'm like that card just automatically wins games, and that's Underworld Breach. I got a foil version. I don't know if you can see that on there. But yeah, I got a foil Underworld Breach out of the packs as well. And then because I thought it was expensive, I grabbed the Turtles Forever, I think this one is. Yeah, at one point I thought it was like $30. I don't actually know what it goes for right now. So I kind of just threw it in a sleeve. And then I opened kind of some other stuff as well. We did an MH3 the pack war thing where you build decks with 3 cards, but the person I sat across had never really played Magic before, which I know it sounds weird at a Magic Con, but he was just a family member to one of the guys that we bring, or well, the owner of Apex Gaming. It was his brother, and he never really played. He knew about the game, but doing a pack war with MH3 with someone who's never really played Magic was pretty tough. And I looked over and I saw my friend get one person made infinite creatures without haste, and the other person made infinite creatures and gained infinite life. It was crazy on 3 cards. It was wild. They made infinite angels with also having the voice guy in play. And then they played a thing, and it gave all the creatures haste, and he got the other guy. It was really funny. But these are some of the things I opened out of the other packs. We got Lost Yite as well, and then I got an Endurance, which is pretty cool. This is a really good commander card. I've never really played it, but I've seen people. I think Legends, the kind of arena guy. I follow his content a lot. I just always mix up his name. I watched him play Commander with this against Covert Go Blue when they did like the deck with like the same cards or like gimmicky decks against each other to see which gimmicky deck was the best gimmicky deck, and it was kind of cool. At least I think that's what it was. I just remember them playing like Shadowboard Apostle against like Heir Apparent, and you can only imagine that one deck won that one. But I got a Raph and Mikey, which is cool. Foil was a CDH All Star all of a sudden. Literally opening this up, I set it on the table, and a couple of the rock guys, sucks that I can't remember exactly what band they were from. They leaned over, they're like, dude, that card's so sick. It's been winning a lot of CDH events around us, and it's just like this all star. So that's pretty cool. And then just kind of some other stuff. I'm going to just turn and kind of fan it. I got like Krang, I got the Commander's Foil, a Surge Foil, a Sylvan Safekeeper Foil, which is pretty cool. I'm actually putting this in Toph, but I don't really play with like normal foils. Not that I play with like super expensive foils. I just typically play with non-foils, or I get like foil etches because they don't curl as much. I single sleeve a lot of my stuff just because I like the way it feels, and really, I feel like I am more likely on a double sleeve deck to actually just ruin the cards myself than I am to. I'm going to say this, and I hope it doesn't happen. I feel like I am more keen to bend a card that I have double sleeved if it's 100 cards in Commander than I am to like knock a drink over, pouring it down like all my cards, if that makes sense. Now that I said that, I'm immediately going to spill any drink whatsoever right into my cards and ruin them all. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But the final thing I got one other cool thing, and I got asked for this all weekend, and I felt it was tough because we basically got extra to like, because we obviously were working, so we wanted to get an extra couple of things like, oh, our allotment's 20. Can we get 22 so the employees aren't buying out of the show stock, if that makes sense? Is at least what we try to do, because the show's already predetermined what we're having. A lot of times we can change some stuff, but it's a whole thing. I got a Lord of the Rings mat, and yes, I did it. Have a really large Lord of the Rings mat. It is a 61 by 61 centimeter mat. So, I know it's going to be backwards for you there, but yeah. So 61, and it's huge. And I'm going to open it now. So I'm pretty excited about it. I haven't looked at it fully out. Don't worry about my modem and stuff. It was on the floor, and my dog got into it, so I had to move it. That right, Sadie? She's over there wagging her tail. She's excited that I'm back. So I had a friend watching her while I was gone. And it was okay, but my dog missed me. I am very happy. Oh, not one of these, bro. What am I going to do with this? Sorry if this makes like a really loud noise. Welcome to my ASMR channel, I guess. I don't know. Oh! I about dropped it. This thing is huge, bro. Hold on. Look at this. Before I am. Actually, I have to take my headphones off. My cable was getting caught. Hold on. I don't even have anything playing. I don't know why I have headphones. Yeah. I like it a lot. Ever since Ixalan did it back in the day, like old Ixalan did the map, I really enjoyed it and I liked it. So I have some oversized cards that I was going to hang, but now about hanging this, I'm gonna look. We can look together. I'm way too far away. I'm so sorry. I think we're gonna hang it over here. Cool. It'll fit. But the reason for that is I've had a mat for half a year now, I think. Been sitting in the wrapper ever since. It was a Japan exclusive for, I want to say it's like a store championship mat. I had a buddy go to Japan. While he was there, I had him pick it up. So it ended up being like 200 USD. I didn't realize it was going to be that much, quite frankly. It was a situation where he was in Japan, I wasn't. So he just kind of was like, worst case scenario, I'll buy it or whatever. But I still have it wrapped and I don't want to unwrap it until it's ready. It's the Narset and the Wanderer together with the dog. I guess I can take this little tape off. Kind of unwrap it that way. I can show it off, but this mat's really sweet. I think on TCG you can't even like find listings of it, which is cool because they were only in Japan, and the stores that had them were like not shipping to the US. Which is like kind of cool, but honestly, my favorite part is the dog. Like let me pull the dog up real close. See it? Look at that goofy boy. He just he's so hungry. He's like salivating over over the rice ball getting eaten. And if you know what that is, that's like the sleeves and stuff that they had on Arena. I never ended up getting. But yeah, you can see right here. If I can pull it over here. The Japanese sticker. Not 35,000 USD, I promise. It was not that much. It was 200. But I thought I was going to spend like at most 100. Up spending more. But by the time you would ever get something like that shipped, it's probably going to be like more than that. But yeah, those are some things I got or things I've had that I've not really shown off. I went to the first Ripbound event. I ended up getting like Riven and LeBlanc, and then I got Chinese New Year Irelia, which is pretty. I have the Arcane Ripbound League box, but I've been getting the cards out of this separately because I want the cards, but I also want to keep this sealed because I think it's cool. And other than that, yeah, it was a good trip. I'm glad to be back. I'm hopefully we're gonna upload some of the stuff that I did with kind of Apex in terms of like the filming wise and how we kind of do that and whatnot. But also, sorry that I've been looking like over here the whole time. It's been like a really long time since I've done like a full webcam. It's actually since I did some casting of Magic events for Apex that I did a full webcam. So I've kind of just like been looking over to see if I'm in frame or if I'm holding the thing in frame instead of like my camera that's right here. But the problem, if I look at the camera, my glasses just reflect the whole time. So like, yeah, it just ends up being weird anyway. I need to eventually probably get a better webcam, but it does its job. I think it's fine. But hopefully, anybody who didn't make it might make it to Atlanta. So I would obviously enjoy meeting anybody. I have a lot of fun talking to people there anyway. So it's a good time. But with that, I hope you all enjoyed the video. And if you want to see more stuff like this, and especially like, I guess the other thing we got was, I wonder if I can pull it up on my phone. I zoomed in and took a screenshot of it, but this is one of the owners, which is really funny. It's Teddy Boy. But we were at the airport and we acquired. It's not going to show up very well, but this is. Maybe if I just zoom in a little bit, the color is going to be off, unfortunately. But there's, you can see the pink. We got 4 Beckett Got 4 Beckett birds, the neon chocobos, because there's a gold one floating around in a vault somewhere for someone, and it's not me. Unfortunately, I wish I opened it, but if I would have opened it, it'd been gone already. Unfortunately. But yeah, that's my stuff. That was my haul. I hope you all enjoyed. If you like this content, let me know. I can talk, and the reason I brought those chocobos up is I could talk about some of the stuff that we acquired, like at maybe like a Riftbound show. For example, we have a misprint Kaisa metal card. It's actually flipped upside down. The art is, instead of being kind of right side up, because we have 2 of them side by side, or we actually have 4 of them, but yeah, we have like those metal cards, which is really cool, and I can just kind of show like picking them up, kind of like how some of the other channels do that I've seen, which are pretty cool. They seem to be well received. I just know I've done a lot of arena, and talking with some people in terms of like, obviously I love playing competitive Magic, but where it's at right now, Commander is kind of taking it over, so it's a bit of a weird thing where it's like I would love to keep doing arena, but with the like amount of time and effort, like, you know, everything does and takes, it's like I kind of need to figure out like a path, because it's very hard to like film all that and then go to a con and work, do that and like keep it up to date, because filming and editing all myself for about how long I make my videos is like a 3 to 4 hour endeavor. But if I'm like, okay, I have to go to this con, and so basically I would have had to make Wednesday through Monday. I like that's all. I don't know if you know this. That's a lot of days. That's 6. I would have to do that. I would have had to made 12 pre-made videos to do that, and I did not have time. I would have loved to do it, but I just did not have time. And it's one of those things, like, if the session goes bad, the session's shocked, right? Like, if I go 0-30, are we uploading that? Like, probably not, because it's like, how can I sell that it's a cool idea, but it didn't do well? You know what I mean? It's a work in progress. You know, I don't really have a lot of people to bounce ideas off of, so I'm kind of just figuring it out on my own. I have watched some stuff, but then it just becomes kind of like, I don't know. I don't know how it becomes. It becomes a little weird. Kind of hearing the ideas, like a lot of them is like be fake, you know, and I don't want to do that. Like, I do not want to be like, oh my god, I'm so excited, like you should come look, and like, nah. It's not me though. But I hope you all enjoy, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we can get back to some arena gameplay tomorrow. And with that, I'll talk to you later. Bye.